Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Anthony Gamer along with my friend Gruffy Gummy.
That's right, Gruffy Gummy. I am one of the gummy bears on the Gummy Bears show that you can see anytime on Disney+.
That's correct. And today we're going to be discussing fantasy arcade games. As far back as I can remember, I've always been a big fan of fantasy related stuff, whether they were TV shows, especially books, and movies, and of course his TV show.
Yeah, that's right. The Gummy Bears is a very family-friendly TV show, a lot like this channel.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, for most fantasy fans, the games that we're used to playing are Dungeons and Dragons, or something similar like the Middle-earth role-playing game, and other ones that have come out, also like My Frog. But as far as video games go, unless you are into RPG games, there's really not a lot of other fantasy games out there for you to play.
That's what you thought.
Exactly. Until I discovered all these really cool fantasy beat-em-up games that were out in the arcade. So without further ado, let's get into the games.
And our first game for today is Metamorphosis Force from Konami from 1983. In this game, an evil king has risen from the dead, and the Greek goddess Athena has summoned these four souls of ancient guardians and has bestowed their power upon these four heroes to stop the evil. Now these guardians wield the ability to shift into anthropomorphic beasts to fight their enemies. The game has a lot of elements of Final Fight and Arcade's X-Men, which came out around the same time. But to be perfectly honest, this is definitely a game that anybody who likes beat 'em up or anything fantasy or mythology related is going to really enjoy. And next up, from 1991, we have King of Dragons by Capcom. In this game, you choose one of five characters: an elf, a wizard, fighter, cleric, and dwarf, and you're traveling through the Kingdom of Malice, and you're defeating monsters that have taken over, and your ultimate goal is to destroy their leader, the evil dragon Gildas. This has a lot of elements of RPG games without actually being an RPG, as it, like the others, and like all of them today, is your typical side-scrolling beat-em-up, although you do move up levels, so those that are big fans of D&D that don't want to play a regular role-playing game, this game is for you. We have one of two of official Dungeons and Dragons games, and this one is Tower of Doom, which was released in 1993 by Capcom.
You know, leave it up to Capcom. They know how to make the best fighting and beat-em-up games.
They sure do. In this one, it's kind of similar to the previous game, in which you choose a particular type of character: a human fighter, a human cleric, a female elf warrior, mage, and a dwarven warrior, and you proceed through the realm, picking up treasures, fighting monsters, advancing in power. You have to fight and solve puzzles. Really a fun game that is on a different level than most other games from that time period. But to be honest with you, this game is a whole lot of fun and is very addictive. Alright, and next up we have its sequel. That is Dungeons and Dragons Shadow of Mistara, which was released in 1996. And it's pretty much the same as the previous game. One thing that does set this apart from some of the other type games in this genre is the fact that you have to find and equip new gear, and you learn new spells and experience, almost like playing D&D itself in a lot of ways. Just a question, did you play D&D a lot?
Oh yeah, all my life. I started playing when I was in middle school, and I played for many years after that, and have been wanting to get back into it.
When you were a kid, did some people give you a hard time about it?
Well, occasionally. There was one chick in particular. She used to call me Dungeon Master, trying to be funny, but the funny thing is from what I hear, she made quite a career in role-playing, and it wasn't uncommon for some guys to call her Mistress.
I get you. Hey, you know, everybody's got their thing that they do.
Yep. And like the previous game, this one is a whole lot of fun, and
I definitely recommend playing this with different kinds of characters to get the absolute most out of it. I'll tell you, talk about taking the King Arthur legends in a whole new direction. That's what you get with this game, Knights of the Round from 1991, also by Capcom. Oh, you got a point. One thing I really like about this is it is just totally badass. I mean, you take on the role of either King Arthur, Lancelot, or Percival, and you basically just go around hacking and slashing guys. That's even what the review of it for the CPS1 emulator called it. Really a fun game, and just one with just a lot of beating up and stuff like that. And like the other games, you can move up in level and power with experience. Really a cool game, and one I think that's very underrated and not really talked about much. As Capcom had so many great games, there were a few that were definitely going to kind of be pushed to the back, and this is one of those games. Okay, and next up from 1991 we have Arabian Fight from Sega. Now in this game you take on the role of one of four characters, Sinbad, Ramea, Goldor, and Data, and you are fighting through these levels to save the kidnapped Princess Laruna from a demonic magician named Sheikh Sazabiz. Now, the game itself is really interesting for the fact that they use animated style artwork in it, and like the other games, there's some really cool supernatural bleh. You got your mix all tucked up there, buddy. Yep, and some really cool things from Arabian Nights and stuff like that. Really a cool game, and kind of a departure from some of the other games on this list, as many of them were based on European type legends, and this one was based on those in the Arabian Nights. Alright, and next up, continuing on with the Arabian Nights theme, we have Arabian Magic from 1992, released by Taito. And directly from the description that was given to me from Launchbox, the game is set in the mythical world of the Arabian Nights. Some time ago, the evil one plagued the peaceful kingdom of Scheherazade in order to save the king, who by sorcery had been transformed into a monkey. A group of heroes must find the Jewel of Seven Colors and release the evil hex. The heroes are Prince Lacid, Princess Lisa, Sinbad, and Afshal, and each of them have their own special magic and powers, and they are setting off on this magic quest. And you have all kinds of cool stuff like sword fights, you get a magic lamp, and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you are big into the Arabian Nights, like I am, you're going to really enjoy this game. And today we're going to conclude with one of my favorite video games of all time, period, of any genre. And that is 1989's Golden Axe by Sega. Probably the first in this genre, I believe. This is a game that I have many happy memories playing. As a matter of fact, Gruffy, interestingly enough, on this lousy vacation we went on, the only highlight of that entire trip was the time I snuck away to the arcade and played this game. Wow, that must have been a real bad vacation. Yeah, that's saying it mildly. Anyway, in this game you choose one of three players, a fighter, a dwarf, and a female warrior. And you have the abilities to not only just go around pounding guys with your weapons, but each of them have their own degree and magical powers. So this game has been ported out several different times, some great, most not so great, but nothing beats the original. In next week's episode, we will discuss more Atari 7800 homebrews.
Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give us a great big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when we upload new episodes. And even though this is the end of this video, there are a lot more fantasy games coming and a lot more beat-em-up games, so stay tuned. Well, until next time, this is Anthony Gamer,
And I'm Gruffy Gummy.
and we hope you all have a great year this year. Certainly couldn't be much worse than last year. But anyway, until next time, stay strong, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all,
Take care of each other. Be kind to each other.
that's right. See you guys soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.